This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Lee Huffman. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm doing fantastic. It's raining cats and dogs outside, and I'm inside snug and happy.
That's wonderful. And now we get to have a conversation. What part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh my gosh, I love Nashville. Ooh, I love Nashville.
Yeah.
We're
We're loving it too. We've only been here about 6-7 months, and we met some amazing people. Still getting used to the weather. You know, I come from California, where we have perfect weather all the time. And but overall, I bought a house that's half the price of my house in LA, and it's 30% bigger.
Yeah.
So I can deal with a little bit of weather for something that's so nice like that.
Yeah, and it's just the season, and I mean it'll clear up by in a couple of months, yeah, and then you'll be like,
sure.
wow, Tennessee, wow, yeah, it's definitely amazing. I definitely love Tennessee tremendously. What part are you in? North, south, west, east?
Just a little east of Nashville.
Okay,
so Nashville's pretty much in the center of the state, and I'm just a little bit east of Nashville, downtown.
That's cool. Wonderful. All right, my friend, well, do tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time in history?
Probably my networking abilities, really. I'm all over LinkedIn and all the different channels on social media, and you reached out to me on LinkedIn, and we just kind of hit it off right away. And I like the concept of your podcast, and I think it's a really cool idea. And my podcast is actually on a kind of a similar vein of meeting people from around the world and kind of finding out what the best things that are going on in their mind.
Yeah, tell us the name of your podcast, please. Let's check that out.
Yeah, it's called the We Travel There podcast. And so what I do is I travel virtually around the world to find out the best things to do in different cities from a local's point of view.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Sounds like a ton of fun. It's like, oh my gosh, no jet lag, right?
No, exactly. Oh, the great thing is, for cities that I've been to, I'm learning new things from a local. And then for cities that I've never been to, I'm actually finding out and just adding more and more lists of the cities that I want to visit. So it's really cool.
Yeah. You know, it's really fascinating from a philosophical perspective, how you can then put your voice in a place that you've not been, and then your body follow after.
Oh, no, for sure. And I think for me, whether it's about my website or the podcast, it's all about encouraging people to travel, because I think that the more that you travel, the more that you actually can experience other cultures and other parts of the world firsthand. It really opens your eyes. It really opens your mind to be able to understand that, okay, yeah, maybe there's some differences between us, but that's okay. It's not like I'm better than you, you're better than me, whatever. It's we have differences and we can embrace them, and we can share each other's culture with one another.
Definitely. So who did you learn that ability, the approachability? Who did you learn that from? Seems like you're a warm, fuzzy guy, right? Who did you learn that from?
Oh, yeah. My dad. My dad was just a wonderful person, always happy, and never met a stranger. And growing up, no matter who it was with my friends, they basically became part of the family as far as my dad was concerned. And that's the way I'm trying to raise my kids as well. And, I want to embrace all their friends and bring them along. And whether we're traveling or just doing something fun in our own backyard, I want them to know that coming to us and coming to our household is a safe place for them to come and kind of enjoy themselves and be a kid.
Love it. All right. Tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Consistently over the last 3 years, my website is all about earning miles and points. And so that way, it's a way to be able to travel for a fraction of the cost of normal people. And so what I do, because I have my wife and I have 2 children, I want us to be able to travel the world and explore and enjoy ourselves without breaking the budget. So I am constantly focusing on ways to earn extra miles and points, whether it's from getting a new credit card, shopping on an online portal, or using my credit cards effectively. It's all about earning those miles and points. That way we can go have those amazing experiences for pennies on the dollar.
Ooh, I'm sure there are many people that are listening will be intrigued by that. So where can they connect to get more information?
Yeah, that website is called baldthoughts.com. And so, I have no hair. And, I like to think about just everything that's going on and talk about everything. So that's where it kind of merged the two together. So it's baldandthoughts.com.
Love it. Well, amazing audience. Again, you're hearing it live from Lee Huffman. Lee, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Lee, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Okay, this is really funny. At this point, I don't know if I actually remember it or I just heard the story so many times that it feels like I remember it. But when I was about 4 years old, I was always a little bit of a pain in the rear for my dad. Always getting into things, always asking why, no matter whatever the answer was, is always why. Was my follow-up question. And my dad was working out in the yard, doing whatever he was doing, and I was doing something that he didn't want me to do. And of course, being a 4-year-old, I just kept doing it. And he told me, he said, if you don't stop it, I'm going to get the switch out, and, I'll take my belt off and whap you on the back of the legs. And of course, being a 4-year-old, I'm like, oh, whatever. I just kept doing it. And he took the belt off, wham, hit me on the back of the legs. You can't do that nowadays. Nowadays, you get Child Protective Services called on you. But he did that. And I turned around, put my hands on my hips and said, stop it. And my dad was, he was taken aback so much of it. He actually went into the house and because he didn't want to laugh in front of my face because he didn't want to destroy my personality or whatever. But so he went inside and just laughed. And he enjoyed telling that story so much throughout my life. And again, I don't know if I remember it or if I just remember it so vividly from the way he told the story. And it's the earliest memory I have.
How old were you in this memory?
4 years old.
Wow. How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
Really, I think the biggest thing is that in some ways, like rules don't necessarily apply to me, right? If I don't agree with the rule, if I think the rule is unfair or unjust, then I stand up to it, and I don't put up with things that are wrong, and that's really one of the things, I teach my kids is that, obviously you want to follow the rules that make sense, but if they're not making sense, because some rules, whether it be ethics or whether it be, laws or whatever, sometimes they just don't make sense. And, you don't want to be a lemming that just follows the rules and dives off the cliff with everybody else.
Definitely.
You want to stand up and say, you know what, something seems wrong here, and you stop at that cliff and don't jump off.
Yeah, love it. That's pretty intriguing. I have no insight on that other than it was just grand, it's just a grand moment, and capturing it is beautiful, and the fact that your father then took the story and just like, he didn't, as well as you being who you were and who you are, it was just really cool that he respected that to tell the story over and over again. It wasn't just something that he just shut down, right? That he would just create a moment and create a space for it to be everlasting through the stories told. But that's super funny. I mean, I would laugh as well. It was cool as well at the beginning of our conversation before we started recording that you said, yeah, every father has to have corny jokes, right?
Yep. Well, that's the thing is that, I have a 3 and a 7-year-old, and just like my dad respected me when I stood up for myself that way, I give my kids a lot of latitude, right? And I want them because they've been traveling with me since they were both 6 weeks old for their first flights, and I want them to be able to experience things, and I want them to be able to form their personalities and create the best human that they can possibly be. And I think that's what a parent's job is, to just create the best humans possible. That's really your job, and mold them and protect them, but let them kind of become themselves without trying to create a mirror of yourself in them.
Yeah, totally agree. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song, Lee?
I think it was With or Without You by U2. I mean, U2 was a huge band at the time, and I know I went to a couple of their concerts later on in life, and their music just, whether it was with 1987 or whether it's today, I mean, their music still is phenomenal.
Yeah. Can I jokingly connect the dots in that song?
Sure.
I just love like you telling your father, hey, I'll do this with or without you. Stop it.
Exactly.
Oh,
I think it's a common theme throughout my life.
Oh, that's amazing. All right, my friend, we've arrived at our destination. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Lee, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yeah, my kids.
Are you married?
I am.
You said you have 3 children, yeah?
2 children and a wife, and she probably says that she has 3 children, including me.
Do you believe in God?
I do.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
It's pretty big, but I do have several different rings of friendships.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Depends on football season. Probably a little bit more TV than normal.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Oh, computer. Like the computer's on 24/7 because that's what I do for a living now is writing and podcasting and blogging. So yeah, it's on constantly.
If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, Lee Huffman, what would you say that is?
Let's see. I think the whenever somebody asks a question, my response is almost always it depends. Because there are a lot of things that in one situation you would say one answer, in a completely different situation you would say a different answer. So depending upon the circumstances, the answer is dependent upon those circumstances. So people, like, because again, my world is a lot about credit cards. People always ask me, what's the best travel credit card? I say, well, it depends. It depends on where you want to go. I love Southwest Airlines, but if you want to go to Europe, that's not going to be the card for you. So tell me where you want to go. Tell me how you want to travel, and I'll find the right thing for you.
My friend, this was such a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Hey, just keep listening to Angle. A lot of great content here on his site, and I'm a big fan now. I've listened to a couple of episodes, and I really enjoy it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it a ton. Well, Lee Huffman, again, great pleasure, my friend. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-minute convos with Angel Jones.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.